These are the differentiation rules for trigonomic functions. Now, they're not difficult to use at all, especially after already knowing how to implement the other differentiation rules, so these should be very straightforward to use. But that's not really why I wanted to make this, because I can look these up easily. All I really wanted to commentate on here, well, it was really just to reiterate why I like to use sine and cosine only. Whenever possible, obviously, if I am using a formula where secant or cosecant or cotangent, or for whatever reason it makes sense to use one of those, then I should go ahead and do it. But normally whenever I get a problem, if I see a cosecant or a secant or a cotangent, I immediately convert it into sine and cosine, and I don't really care how annoying it is. I don't like seeing them. I mean, just look at this. I mean, as soon as, well, let me just use this example over here, just to illustrate how simple these derivatives are and how annoying these other ones will be. If I want the derivative of sine, I have the first 5 derivatives here. First derivative is cosine, then I go back and do it again, and then I use the derivative of cosine, then I get minus sine x, then minus cosine x, then sine x back to where I started, and then I get cosine again. So I'm back to my original first power derivative. So one thing that is useful for, which probably won't occur very often because I don't even know what this would mean. Say I had, I don't know, say f to the 27th. So the 27th derivative of sine x. Well, if I know that the first derivative is equal to the 5th derivative, I can just skip ahead to the 25th derivative and then move 2 spaces down on my derivative chart right here, and then I have my 27th derivative. But it's not really that so much. It's just imagine taking the 3rd derivative of this. I've got to take the product rule of this, and then this is going to be something, see, look, this is going to be this, and this is going to be itself again. It's going to be really, really messy. I'm going to do the product rule multiple times. So even if I'm dealing with, if I have to do the chain rule or anything else, I mean, some people might like to do it this way, but I've always found that it's easier to do the same thing over and over again, especially if it gives you the same answer. I don't think that this really is any more insightful or anything like that. It's just something else to learn. So I like just to cut down as much as possible. I don't even like to use tangent, to be honest, but tangent is something that I will use every now and then. But otherwise, I always use sine and cosine, and I hope this big mess is an illustration of why. I mean, sure, you'll have to use the quotient rule, and you'll still have to do work with sine and cosine, but at least it's something that I would be familiar with, because I would be doing it all the time. So the derivatives of sine and cosine would be ingrained in my mind, where here I might easily make a mistake just because they're all kind of similar, and I don't use them very often in the first place, and I'd even have to go look them up. I mean, these are just very, very simple to remember, and I think it really cuts down on mistakes, and also it's just, to me, it just seems more logical just to use these ones and just to, ignore these ones for the most part. If for whatever reason one had to look it up, then they can go ahead and do that, but I would try to use these whenever possible. And that's all I really wanted to say, because these are, despite these being really annoying, they're just simple to use.